questions through the mic, please.
Thanks, Steve. Morning, Jacques. Just one from me. The last time the Springboks launched a World Cup defence, it took a very late try and Morningstain conversion to beat Wales by 1 point.
Yep.
Would you take something similar in Marseille on Sunday?
I was part of that, actually. It was in New Zealand. Look, we play a quality team in Scotland, so we expect nothing other than a big game, and it will be take a big grind, I think, from both sides to break each other down. So I expect it's going to be a tough one.
What's your memories of that game specifically? So,
Frans Steyn scored early, I think within the first 3 minutes. Then I thought, I was physio then, so I thought it's going to be an easy one, and then it didn't turn out that easy. I think Dan Bigger, it was a young Wales side. I think Francois Hougaard scored late with a little bit of magic between him and Fourie de Pre, and no, it was a tough game. And probably that's the thing. There's no easy games. Even if you score early, there's no easy games in a World Cup. A World Cup is a World Cup. It's a different tournament than any other tournament that you play. So we expect nothing other than that.
Jacques, a quick one for me as well. Cheslin is the local Springbok, used to Toulon for a couple of years. But he had a bittersweet exit from here and a difficult season in France with a lot of injuries. How did you manage him from South Africa throughout the whole season to make sure he would be fit for the World Cup?
I must say, in terms of our relationships with the clubs, obviously with our overseas-based players, even the guys playing in Japan, we in some clubs we have better relationships than in other clubs, but with Toulon we always had a good relationship. I think if you look historically at the connection between Toulon and South Africa, there's been a couple of big South African names that have played here that have been successful here, and obviously when we came over for the recce to decide which base we're going to use for the World Cup, that was in 2021. I met the boss of Toulon, and he provided me with a nice jersey, which I still have at my house. So we had a good relationship with Toulon. So they were always good in terms of sharing information, and gave us access to Cheslin, and so we always had a good relationship. Even when Eben was here, the same thing.
Jacques, just talk us through the excitement of approaching a World Cup campaign. I mean, it's a World Cup defense. Defending a World Cup and actually going into a World Cup to win it are two different things. Just take us through the different mindsets of that.
No, yes, incredibly excited to be part of a World Cup. And like I say, I think Sia, this is your third one now. 2015. This is my third one, and you are fortunate just to be part of one. So incredibly blessed to be part of three. And in an exceptional place like France, it's phenomenal. I mean, the people here, local people here in Toulon, has really embraced us as a team. And when we go to the different training venues, there's hoots and waves and cheers, and the people are incredible. So. And World Cup always has a vibe. I think that's probably when I was part of my first World Cup in 2011 in New Zealand. That's probably the thing that blew me away, is the whole excitement from the fans and the people streaming into the towns where you're going to play. And yesterday when we walked back from training, or on Tuesday, on I don't know where we now, Friday and Thursday, there were South Africans sitting here in front cheering, and so just that. It's nice to see the support flocking in and getting ready for the match. So no, it's incredible. World Cups are always incredible.
Jacques, there's been some reports this week of teams potentially spying on each other. I mean, does this surprise you, or do you think there's anything to it?
No, I'm not on social media, but my wife told me about it. I think it was they asked Fuzzy in a media conference. Yeah, no, yeah, on the spot, I think, and I can't talk for other teams. I can just talk for us. But if you look at how we do things, I mean, we announce our team very early in the week, so we get it out. We don't feel the players know on the Monday already, and we would probably like to announce it on a Monday if we could, but unfortunately, my personal program on a Monday from a rugby perspective is just too busy. So Tuesday I'm a little bit more. I give input, but I'm not as responsible for the rugby stuff on a Tuesday or on the second day, if I can put it like that. So that's why it just suits us better from an administrative point of view to announce our team then. So we get it out as quickly as possible. We don't believe that it has any bearing on people knowing the team or not knowing the team. But even further than that, I think if you look at Chasing the Sun of the last World Cup, I mean, we put it out there. People. I don't think there's people that don't know how we operate within the Springbok environment. If even locally, we had the Inside the Box series where we will go into depth on how we manage our players. I mean, I think we are as transparent as we can be from our perspective. I'm not saying other teams are like that. I'm just giving you my perception on it. And I think with all the technology that's available these days, I mean, I'm just going to use Scotland as an example because we play against Scotland. I mean, we've coached, myself and Rassie have coached against Gregor since 2016. He was coaching Glasgow back then. So our draw in Europe was against Glasgow, and we played them in the Pro 12 back then. So we played Glasgow 4 times in 1 year. So obviously, coaching against Gregor and the style of coaching that he used and the style of play that he used, we pretty much from 2016. So I think you pretty much you get used to going into coaches. So I don't think with proper analysis, I think you got an incredibly good idea of what you're going to face on Saturday. Yes, there might be a 5 to 10% change or something new that you bring in, but I don't think. I think everyone. If I ask you guys, South Africa, do you think we're going to use them all on Saturday? You probably will agree. And did you spy on us? No. It's just because you know us, you know. So I think, yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the spying thing. I think through proper analysis, you got a pretty good idea what's coming your way.
Jacques, just to further elaborate on Liam's question, does it then speak to the seriousness of how teams, or the desperation of how teams want to do well at a World Cup, considering that this particular World Cup is seen as the most open since 1987? Yeah, I think we knew from the start that this World Cup will be open, and especially if you look at the side of the draw that we're in. But it is what it is. You know, we can't change it. It was known to us from 2020, and we knew that this is the route that we have to take. And this, any World Cup, I think even 2019, I know people say this one is going to be competitive, and it is going to be competitive. But if you think 2019, I mean, probably when we went into that World Cup, Japan wasn't the quarterfinalist in anybody's book. You know, but that's the beauty of the World Cup. I think there will be some surprises in this World Cup, definitely. And every World Cup is tight. I think if you look at our quarterfinal against Japan, it took a 60-meter maul. When last have you seen a 60-meter maul? It will take something incredible to get through our pool. It will take something incredible to get through the quarterfinal, and then it will take something incredible to win a final. So every World Cup, yes, it's tight because there's a lot of teams that if you are a little bit off your game, you stand a chance of losing that game. And I think all the effort that World Rugby has put into Tier 2 nations has the gap's very close there, which is phenomenal for the game. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a tight one, but 2019 was also tight.
Well, it's out here, obviously. No, but I think we all give one song sometimes in the bus, and we all play different kind of music. I think we all got a different taste of music, to be quite honest. But the most DJ, the biggest DJ is Sos in the bus, and sometimes he plays horrible music, but we bear with him.
As a follow-up, what do you listen to?
listen to a lot of different music, but for game, it's normally it's only worship music before the game because I like to calm down. It gives me peace and it settles me down because Jacques and Coach Rasi pump us up in the week. So you're just rising and rising, saying I need something just to pull me down and keep me level-headed before I go, and it gives me a lot of strength.
Sorry, on the same question, basically. Can you provide us with an example? We need an artist's name, if you could. Yeah.
I listen to Maverick City quite a lot, and Bethel, Elevation. Yeah, I think those are, and obviously Hillsong sometimes, but yeah, those are normally my go-to. The new favorite song is Make a Way by Maverick City and Chandler Moore.
Sia, can you tell us a little bit about your journey the last 4 months? Because I think April 22nd, something like this, was a difficult day for you. Can you tell us about your doubts, hopes from that day, all you've been through and managed to recover on time for the World Cup?
Yeah, it was on the day. Obviously, when I got hurt, I wasn't so sure, and luckily, as what Jacques would also agree with me, our wives see things differently. They're more positive than us. I think my wife was very encouraging. So, yeah, and then I have also met a doctor who was very confident that it's possible for me to make it, or at least have a chance. So and the nice thing was our Springbok medical team, when the doctor said it's possible, they all said, I think do the surgery properly, don't do half jobs, make sure you look after your long term, not just to try and make it for the World Cup, which gave me lots of confidence. And then the Sharks, also the medical team, they also obviously had to help the days I wasn't there. They actually had done the same thing for, I think Peter Steff had the same thing. He played in 3 months actually. I mean, I played in 4 months. He came back in 3 months and he played a club rugby game from the SOM doctor. So, and I had to work hard. I mean, I was in camp with everybody the whole time, which I think was the best thing that could have happened to me because it made me realize what I'm working towards, and I saw how hard the players were working in Pretoria. It's very hot in Pretoria. The altitude is ridiculous, so I could see how the players were struggling, so that also gave me a lot of confidence. But I must say, the support from Arge, who's been through it for a very long time, Andre Pollard, who had been through the same thing, and obviously Peter Steff. I think if I didn't have them around me, I don't think I would have managed, because every time I felt doubt, every time I felt like I wasn't going to make it, they're like, no, where you are now, I was far behind then. So yeah, it's just great to be with this group, because we actually support each other in different ways. And that's why, like, I think even if it wasn't a World Cup, I still would have pushed hard, because to wear a Springbok jersey is, I can never take it for granted. It's special to be around the environment. Is amazing. So I'm grateful to have teammates like this and coaches that back me, and obviously the medical team who work so hard, not just from the Springbok, but from the Sharks too.